Everybody notices.
Hey guys,
Hey, everybody.
it's
how's it
it's
going?
Wilson. It's Wilson
Wilson
from
here.
It was Wilson
Home Improvement.
from Home Improvement. Yeah,
Yo, Home Improvement was it was Tim Allen. He was the
Tim Allen. What a good show, man! What
the
a
guy,
good
right?
show. Power
and
Tools.
Santa Claus. Santa Claus is a classic. Santa Claus.
What
is
a
great.
good show. Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
a different show, dude.
Yo, do you guys
Different movie.
that was a movie.
do you guys agree with me that Wolf of Wall Street is a top 5 film of all time?
Wait. Do we all have the same mic now? Do you have a good
Yeah.
mic now,
We
Amit?
do. We do.
Oh, Amit's on the
You know
good
what that
mic.
calls
Chris
for?
is on the good
That
mic.
calls for a bell.
Yeah, I
Look
thought
at us. It's like we're professional podcasters.
Right. It's like we're taking this seriously.
Yeah, no,
Wait.
it kind of looks like we're all fucking.
Hold on a
nerds.
second.
Fucking use this
Is there a
mic.
delay?
You're hearing it.
Wait,
You're
is there a
hearing the
delay?
feed. You're hearing the feed from YouTube. You have to mute
Is
YouTube.
there?
If you're listening to the chat, if you're looking at the chat, you have to mute YouTube because it's like a few seconds behind.
Oh yeah.
I don't think there's a delay. No.
There is a delay.
Between us?
Yeah, between what we're seeing and what's live on YouTube, it's like a few seconds.
Okay, yeah. I think Chris.
I'm gonna rejoin. I'll be right there.
Okay, you rejoin.
Yeah.
Okay,
guys. Hurry up. We got 5 minutes to discuss.
No. It's like hold on.
As soon as he comes back, we're getting into
We're going straight to
We
Truist.
should just be in the middle of a random.
bro. You guys
conversation.
need to be buying some Truist, bro. It's
Just
fucking
be-
undervalued.
Yeah,
It's undervalued.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it for tomorrow.
No, you need to be looking at it seriously, bro. Like
I'm looking.
Chris
I
is
mean,
doing
I'll
even
probably,
more
I would
due
But
probably.
don't
just buy-
you agree there's a
I would
lot
just
of
buy
good
it.
deals? That's the thing. Don't you agree
That's
there's a
the
lot of
problem.
good deals in the market?
No. So the difference between the deals is
Some are bad.
Truist just has to Truist just has to go back to what it was. The other
Return
deals
to
you need
the
them to
mean,
actually
yeah.
show growth. Truist just has to. It just the market has to wake up, which is going to be easy once.
Right. You're saying it has to
Right.
show basically no growth. It just has to return to normalcy. That's what
And
you're
the beautiful thing is it is growing. That's the beautiful thing.
saying. Right.
Well, but I mean, Vitaly, that was the argument you had about Meta. Like this is oversold, and somewhere people will just wake up and it'll return back to what it was. It's
Right.
fair valuation.
Right.
Fair
I
market
agree.
valuation.
Yeah. It's probably true. I don't even doubt it.
Oh, that was a perfect opportunity. You said it's probably true. Is that's what you're supposed to say.
And damn it, he
Yo, I
got
think
us to
Chris
talk
is
about
right. I think
Truist
there is
for
a
5
delay.
minutes before he lost.
No. It's I was connected Bluetooth with my cell phone
Oh, that was
to
it.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm trying to participate in the chat with you guys. So I was like, okay, let me join. But because like the way the StreamYard works is like you can't really respond. The only person that can respond is Amit. So we have to join as YouTube
Yeah.
people and respond on there. So yeah.
Are we okay now?
You know what
Someone is saying it was lagging. Are we okay now?
No, we're
Yeah,
good.
let us know
We're
if it's
good.
okay. Let us know if it's okay,
Yeah.
guys, or is it still lagging?
Yeah.
StreamYard
I
needs
think it's good.
StreamYard needs to let me make you guys like admins or whatever it's called because I've tried to do that and they don't allow that.
Only one person can be admin on StreamYard.
Yeah, I guess because you guys should be able to just comment through the StreamYard. But I've been on other
That
people's
would be
StreamYards.
honestly, that would be so frigging awesome to
That
not
would
have
be
to do
so
it
good.
through. That'd be really
through
cool.
fucking YouTube.
It also would be good. I don't know, like being able to search or like look at just one person and see what one person's writing. There's a lot of things that they could do
Yeah.
for this.
All right. So after a bunch of technical difficulties, we are here. And yeah. So Wolf of Wall Street, top 5 movie all time. Yes.
Yes.
Mm,
Top
yes.
10.
Okay. Got one
Top
yes.
10. Top 10.
Top
Yes.
10.
I would say top 10 like maybe in the top 10 finance movie category, top 10. Yeah.
No, it's just it's brilliant. The whole movie.
You think so?
It's 3 hours long and it's like all brilliant.
That is a good point. I never, you know what? Watching Wolf of Wall Street, you don't realize it's 3 hours because it's so good the entire way. Maybe it is a top one.
Yeah, you have to understand how hard that is to do to get a movie that's successful at 3 hours. Do you know how many plays in a movie theater per day you lose by having that extra hour? How many the turnover in the movie theaters? It also has people leaving. Say every other movie is 2 hours and that one's 3. People are leaving in the middle of every other movie, so you can't just leave and jump to it. There's so many reasons why they hate 3 hour movies, and that movie still did freaking gangbusters.
Yeah. Lord of
Big
the
Show
Rings.
was okay.
Lord of the Rings
Big
was
Show was
another one.
okay. Yeah, Lord of the Rings was another one. That was one like
Yeah.
freaking intermission.
Dark Knight
Yeah.
trilogy in the top 10.
Trilogy was
I would say
alright.
Dark Knight is good. The 2012 one
Okay.
kind of sucked.
No, that's not a top 10.
That
I
last
think
Dark
Dark Knight
Knight.
is top 10.
No,
It's
that
not,
last
yeah.
Dark Knight, man, I was so.
Oh, the last one sucked. Yeah, the last one sucked. 100%. 100%.
Yeah, but
We had a big fight on
even watch it again. Christian Bale just doing the Batman voice. Hello, How are you doing? Like it doesn't
put
hold
on-
up. 10
Yeah.
years later, it's not holding
Yeah.
up the same way. And I'm listening, I'm like,
Yeah.
Christian Bale, really? That's what you chose?
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so let's get started with Vitali. So I was telling this this news to Carlos when you ditched us on Thursday, but
And
there was
Friday.
and Friday, by the way. Or Wednesday and Thursday.
I didn't.
Basically,
yeah,
there was a
Wednesday.
guy-
I was working 16+ hour days with some crazy woman. I'm not even talking about that. But maybe a different time.
I feel you, man. I feel you. Crazy
ahead.
people take a lot of time.
There was a guy who came to my house. Apparently, my parents are doing a solar consultation. They didn't tell me they were doing this. But
I
they did.
heard this part actually. I heard that this little part. Go ahead. Say it again, though.
And dude, he's in there, and I'm like, I have to go do a live stream because Palantir went up 40%, by the way. So I was hosting an emergency live stream for the shareholders. of Palantir
Emergency.
because the company went up 40%, by the way. So I just had before I had 2 minutes, I was like, wait a
You're
second.
like, let me buy solar. I've made a lot of money.
You're like, you
I
came
know, I
on a
was just
good
like-
day, buddy. You came on a good day.
I was like, what company creates the mic? First of all, I felt like such a genius for saying microinverter. I was like, I'm so happy Vitali taught me that. I'm like, I sound smart as shit. I was like, what company makes the microinverters? He was like, oh, Solar Edge. I was like, interesting. Why
What?
do
Wait,
you guys use-
what? Your first question is who makes microinverters? A Solar Edge guy, and he says Solar Edge.
No, I didn't know he's not a Solar Edge guy. He's a solar panel guy, but they use the
Okay.
Solar Edge microinverters, right? He's from some
There's no
other.
They don't
microinverters for
make
Solar
microinverters.
Edge. They're called power optimizers. Did he not know that fact?
I don't, bro. He
No,
obviously
dude,
knew
those
they were
solar,
the
let me tell you,
same.
those Solar Edge guys, they'll tell you whatever the fuck they need to get you to buy the system. So he said that to you thinking you would just accept it at face value and sign the freaking contract.
Point is, I said, what about enphase? And he was like, enphase is trash, bro. He's like, we never use those guys. I was like, can I record you real quick to send it to my friend? I was like, it was
You should have made a
hilarious.
pod. In fact, you should
I
have
was like, you want to
them
come
on.
upstairs real quick?
No, you know what?
upstairs.
Look,
Apparently
Vitaly,
no
I
one
have a
likes
brick
enphase.
wall.
Vitaly and I
brick wall.
talked about getting a Solar Edge installer and putting them and doing a pod with an enphase installer. Let them and get them on there and have them talk about the benefits, the pros and cons, and let them battle it out, right? Because I think that would give a lot of people value, and I just want to see that.
Hold on. So let me hear the whole story. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm in.
Oh no, that's the end of the story. I was just like, what do you think about enphase? He was like, fuck enphase. And I was just like, oh,
yeah, but
that's
what
so
was the
funny.
reason? What was the reason?
He said something about like the inverters die too quickly and you have to keep replacing them or something.
Oh,
And he
yeah,
was just like,
Come on.
that's
I
what-
don't think he knows what he's talking about.
No.
The-
Like of all the reasons, that is probably the worst one.
That's the worst reason.
Quick Google search will tell you that reliability is one of their strengths. It's the reason why people pay the premium.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Hold on. If he didn't know, see what when you said Solar Edge makes microinverters. If that's what he said, then that shows me he just doesn't know what's going on.
Maybe. I mean, he was a random dude. I'm not saying it was the best.
I mean, I would
salesman.
have laid into him pretty heavy if he was at my house. And I did have, by the way, Solar Edge installers on my house. When I was first researching, I got everybody in because I didn't know what was better. I was still learning about it. This was 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. And I was researching all of it, and I got both sides of it, like why Solar Edge is better, why enphase is better. So I would have like almost equal at that point people trying to convince me one way or another. It had to be my own research to go figure out what was better, you know? So because these guys want to sell you the system that they're selling, that's obvious, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if your experience either, but do you know that a lot of the times those guys aren't like they don't really know much about solar anyway. They're just the sales guy. Like they don't
Right.
have many technical questions. They just want to talk to you about financing. Really, it's just about
Yeah.
financing. So
That's fair.
And it's how
That
much
is
you can
fair.
save on your electric bill. It's that kind of stuff.
yeah, like really basic questions that you could almost Google yourself.
Yeah, that's true. It's salespeople. It's true.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to feel bad.
Well, I mean, just while we're on the topic, I saw unusually I've been running some really deep dives into enphase, and it looks like
Ding,
They
ding, ding,
might-
ding. Ring the bell. He's changing his
Hold on,
mind.
hold
on
on.
this
Hold
one.
Hold
on,
on. He
hold
didn't
on.
say he's initiating a buy yet. We didn't.
I started deep
Yeah.
diving into it. Their operating income's growing, which is good. And I started to see insider buying finally, so that's a really healthy sign. I also saw that the insider selling has kind of diminished a lot. A lot of the analysts, their price targets have pretty much been met at this point. The only thing that I would hesitate when it comes to enphase for now is just the current macro environment with like the interest rates. I think interest rates are holding back so many industries. Like even Elon, I don't know if you guys know, but Elon came out last week and he publicly said, like, look, guys, the next 12 months is going to be rough with us because it's going to be hard to get people to finance cars and so on and so forth. And I think solar fits right into that same category where I think a lot of people want to possibly upgrade or get a solar system, but at the current financing regime, it may not make sense. But that also means that there is a body of people that are joining the if the rates are lower, I will upgrade kind of like party. And I see that same thing happening with Tesla. So imagine like a river hitting a dam, and the dam is kind of filling up right now.
It's pressure.
Yeah. So I think eventually there will be a point where once the Fed just says, you know what, we're going to start lowering rates, and they come down to what B of A and a lot of the other companies they're projecting out to 2024. I think 2024 could be a monster rally year. It's an election year. There's so much going on. I think this right now is a perfect
hold on.
time.
Let me start off the question like that. Why hasn't sell in May, go away happened? And then following up on that, what is your thoughts on where 2024 is going to go? And if you want to interweave the bank discussion in there in 24, that's fine. So is 2024 going to be amazing? And why isn't sell in May, go away happening, i.e. a decline in the stock market?
Well, so for the most part, most companies have actually taken a pretty big beating over the last like couple of years. You know, a lot of them are down from their 52-week highs. They're actually, some of them are priced back to their 2019 levels. The only thing is with Microsoft, Apple, and Google, and some of these other big companies, they're literally distorting the market, because what it is everyone looks at the S&P 500. But if you look at the constituents, I think Apple is 10 or 12%. Microsoft is another 10 or 12%. And they're basically just holding the market up. So in visual terms, it looks like everything is hunky-dory. But if you look at a lot of the companies are repriced back down to like 2019 levels, you know. So just FYI, I think a lot of times people are thinking, well, look, the market is holding up, but that's only if you're looking at it from the general index term. But
I want to point out, you ever seen the chart where down, 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 and it goes up like 20%? And it's like, yes, we're in a bull market.
That's what Palantir. That's what Palantir.
This is all of our stocks, by the way. Okay, like it's basically that.
The other thing to consider too is like the idea of sell in May. It's not like it happens all at once. It just means that by and large, May you'll probably see the highest prices that you're going to see in the year, and you'll probably get better deals leading back into September. So, I mean, it also depends on the sector.
It's usually a summer thing, actually. It's the transition over to summer, because summer is when all of the rich people go away to the Hamptons. So
they don't.
So you're going away to the Hamptons?
I am. I'm joining. Yes.
Me and the idea is that they want to rotate their money into stocks that aren't as volatile, and they don't have to worry as much about it, or stable stocks, more dividend,
or just keep it in cash. Yeah.
Or keep it in cash. And so we won't know if it happened until say September or so. Like basically after after Labor Day? After Labor Day, a week or so later, the people come back and they're itching to buy some stonkies.
So we got two comments. Kelly says, take that shit off. I don't know why she's telling me to get naked right now. Rango, friend of the pod, says 2024 is going to be a ripper. Interest rate cuts, cost cuts will materialize in the company's crazy operating leverage due to not hiring. Basically, good companies will rip so much. And I think he's right. The Fed is accelerating the boom.
This is Rango. Is this Rango?
Yeah. This is Rango. This is our guy.
Oh,
I did listen to that whole pod. By the way, that was the best pod I have heard in a long time.
He's a smart guy, right?
Yeah, dude. And he's 28. Yeah. He's 28 and dropped truth bomb after bomb.
He had some incorrect things I wanted to correct when I was listening. I was like, I'm talking to you, man. Right? And
he could come back. He can come back.
We were saying after WWDC, if an Apple finally announces these VR glasses, we should definitely have him back on.
I was talking to him.
Some good picks. Enphase was one of them. I heard that, so I was really and
he by himself, like it wasn't even, he didn't have to say anything.
I know. I was like shocked. I was like, what?
I was talking to him privately on Friday, and we were just chopping it up. And he's a smart guy, bro. He's gonna be dope.
That was cool. I'm glad he came on.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, we get to all talk to him sometime in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a quick little 5-10 minutes on the banks, and then we'll move on to some individual stocks. Chris, you are pounding the horn on some of these banks. Have you had any new revelations or DD over the past couple of days that are kind of confirming your bias that the banks might be a bit more of an undervalued sector than people are giving them credit for?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at so many people on Wall Street. I've spoken to a few people that work at some family offices. Yeah, everyone is loading up on some really good banking stocks right now because they're just so undervalued. They're priced under book value, under PE, and fundamentally the businesses are very strong. So it makes little sense why they would be trading so low. There was a podcast, I don't know if you guys know, it's called The Compound. Josh Brown
Yeah.
does it from CNBC. So I
Great
sent it to
podcast.
you guys, and they spoke about it, and it was amazing because they described word for word what exactly happened and why there's fear and panic in the sector and why a lot of people, they just sold off. And everyone, like I said, right now is just buying in and getting in. Eventually the market is going to figure out that these are actually still profitable companies, that they're doing very well. They don't have any of the same issues that the SVBs and the FRC of the world did. And when that happens, it's going to rip back higher to like the 45 and the 50 range. The other thing is, even with a deteriorating economy, or whatever, with the interest rate situation, they still are going to be benefiting because they're already at their rock bottoms. So there's nowhere else to go up. So I think right now is a really good time to be in banks, but you have to be very selective. You can't just be in the crappiest bank of all. You just have to be in the ones that are strong enough to survive this and also have a management team that can negotiate around it. The other cool thing is that even from a political end, there's very few things that Democrats and Republicans tend to agree on, but the one thing they all agree on is that we need to save our regional banks. Everyone loves a regional bank. So
everyone hates the big banks. They love the regional.
Yeah, everyone hates the big banks. That's the one thing that everyone can get behind. So I would say if you can find some good regional banks that are local to you, that like are fundamentally strong, those are the ones that you want to park a little bit of money in, and just be patient, let the market do its thing. And in the meantime, you collect a nice dividend too. So for me, I know Truist. I have family and friends that work at Truist. So that's the one that I'm going to bet my money on. I know a few people, they're putting their money on Zion Bank because out west in like the Utah, Salt Lake City area, they're big out there, so just, yeah.
Hey, Amit, I didn't get a chance to look at that link that you had sent about Yellen. Which specific banks was she talking about, saying that the more mergers need to happen?
I think she was saying in general, regionals need to merge. Because she's worried about a bank run, and so she didn't lay out any specifics. She was just like, in order to make sure consumers are protected so that they don't get fucked like FRC if their money's in there. We should.
Do you have the link? Do you have the link? Maybe we can.
I can try to pull that up. Yeah.
Once again, for Truist, at least, I keep looking at the chart too. I'm trying to do these spreads, but they're a little pricey right now. But I mean, just looking at the 10 years, we are at the bottom of like a 10-year chart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hanging around $30. It was there in 2020 at around $30. Then you go back again, 2018.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Well, the point is, whether it's ridiculous or not, this seems like to be a good base for the stock. That $30 seems to be a decent time to buy, and if it starts to go to, it looks like $45, $50, you should probably be offloading and not keeping this for the long term. I'm sorry.
Correct.
Or you could keep it for the dividend. Some people want to have like a nice steady dividend. So that's the other thing.
What is the market cap right now? Say it like
38 billion.
That's not
38 billion.
I'm looking at
that's a
dividend
good
rate
sweet
is
spot, like between 20 and between
it's 40
10,
billion, by the
20.
way. Market cap is 40 billion.
Right.
I
It's
assume
100 billion.
I assume
Just
they're
remember,
not diluting,
yeah,
right?
good
Are they
movement.
diluting?
No, they're actually buying back shares.
Okay, just making sure. Okay.
Yeah.
7% dividend, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the dividend's growing, by the way, and only half of their
Let me
operating
check that.
income. Only half of their operating income is going towards dividends. So they still have a huge margin of safety for their dividends. So even from a dividend standpoint,
Dividend safety is D plus, by the way, from
D
at least
plus.
Seeking Alpha. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
good, but it's not.
They've
that good.
increased it every year for the past 10 years.
Let me check it
annually.
out.
But have they ever missed? Why would they be rated so low?
So I'm actually looking at the dividend. It's been basically steady up from, it fell from 2013 to 2014, but since then it's been at 95 cents and now it's at $2.
Well, remember
It's
this
steady
one,
up.
this merged in 2019. They're two really big regional banks down in down south. One was called SunTrust and the other one was called BB&T. They merged, and so they have like a very strong business together. They're still working out a lot of their synergies from it. So what happens is, I saw this the other day. There's a Truist Bank right by my house, and then like you go like maybe half a mile down the street, and there's another Truist Bank. And the thing is, like, you don't need two banks that are so close together. But the thing is, the reason why they're there is because the merger only happened a couple of years ago. So they're still in the
Each one of them
process.
Each one of them used to be one of
Right.
the two that merged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That happened.
each,
I've seen that. I've
yeah.
seen that.
yeah. You ever see? Yeah, you'd see that in the city sometimes too. When, like,
Yeah, I used to have Republic Bank, and then it became an HSBC, and
yeah.
then where I used to work on 50th and Broadway, there was like two banks, like in the same area. It was like then they all
Yeah.
became like a TD Bank. It was weird.
Yeah. So I think right now they're in the process of just making sure that they realign their needs to tailor the customers, And so yeah, that's the key right there with Truist. Like, they can reduce down their footprint, and they're actually investing pretty heavily in their technology stack so that this way most people can get their banking needs met without having to go to a local branch, right? So this way they can over time reduce down the local branch. There'll never be a bank that gets rid of their local branches, but they're going to downsize their local branches.
Wow.
And that just means way more operating leverage for end users.
So dividend, well, let me point this out. Dividend payout ratio, I think this is why the dividend safety is lower. It's 46% compared to the sector median of 34%. But having said that, I say anything under 50, 60% is still, it's pretty safe.
Yeah.
This last thing that we'll move on. I'm about to do some live due diligence. About 2 weeks ago, Truist had 497,000 ratings on the App Store. Now it's at 511,000. So it's up 14,000 ratings. Why does that matter? It's still at 4.7, because the only reason people download a bank app is if they're making an account with the bank.
Open accounts.
Right? That's like literally the otherwise, why the fuck, if you don't have Wells Fargo, why would you buy it? And it's just interesting to me because a company like SoFi, which I also like, is at 242,000 ratings. The same time I mentioned Truist had 497, SoFi had 239,000. So SoFi has tripled the amount of ratings they get on the App Store versus SoFi. And SoFi is supposed to be the digital bank that should be easily getting these ratings.
Wait.
Right?
But are you saying ratings or downloads?
Ratings. But the thing is, downloads is probably even more, because for every 1,000 downloads, you get 1 rating on the App Store. Like, people don't give ratings that easily.
But also,
what is the downloads?
I don't know that data. You have to pay a lot of money to figure out.
The other thing is, I don't usually rate an app until I've used it for a while, where I can be honest about it. Like, it'll ask me. So all
that's
of those
my point.
could be people that already have accounts.
In 2 weeks, why are they getting 3 times the amount of ratings that are all probably 5 stars, since they have a 4.7 average on their app versus SoFi? I mean, either SoFi is not compelling their users to rate the app enough, or they're just not rating it. But this is here or there, right? It doesn't matter too much, but it's interesting because it's a regional bank, and it's getting, as Chris said, their tech stack is increasing. They're getting thousands of new people downloading it every single day. And
it's not a regional bank. I actually looked at the chart of how much of the territory they have. They have 30% of the United States.
The super regional.
30% of the United States is regional.
Well, it's a super regional, yeah.
And don't forget, the region that they're in is growing tremendously. Like, they're like in Texas, they're in Florida, they're in Georgia. These are the states that are growing double digits compared to some of the other parts of the country, which actually are seeing a net migration of people out. So that's the other thing too. So as more people migrate to some of these other areas, the economy in that area grows, the more money it likely is to be going to banks like this. So, even when you look at it regionally, if you're in a region that's not growing as much, it may not be as good, So I think overall, this is a very safe play to get us to a good point. And yeah, I think, we enjoy the dividends. Me and Amit have some good positions on it. So I'm not going to say exactly what we have, but
what's nice about this? I do think it's going to do really well, and I think Amit is going to finally feel what it's like to invest in like a good, solid company with good DD, make some money, and not be like having to do voodoo in the background. You know what I mean? Like, he's all there at night, like burning the.
No, bro, I'm telling you, this experience, because
he has a carp doll that he pokes at night with.
He's poking him in the.
We're about to talk about Palantir in a second.
Yo, bro,
listen, missed 2 days. I gotta get
dude, you're missing. I sent you an itinerary. There's supposed to be Unity. Who wants to hear about Unity, Uber, monopolies, enphase, Tesla? These these are monopolies.
But let me just say, this experience with Truist has been interesting, because the first stock I ever invested in was fucking Neo at like $2 or $3, and I sold it at $6. So I got a double, woohoo, but it ran up to 60 and I missed out on a 20x, right? So that hurt. The next stock was a Israeli biotech that reverse split on my ass. Now I still believe in the drug, so I'm holding that motherfucker like a lottery ticket, because I think I've actually done some due diligence on the drug. Chris, I should send you them just so you do some DD, but it's an Israeli biotech shit. It's either 0 or 1. And then since then it's been Palantir. And that's just been going down the toilet. And so this is a bank this is a company that's a bank There's like real fundamentals behind it. It is actually undervalued, and you can tell it's undervalued. You're not just saying it's undervalued to say, oh, it's going to grow in the future. It's like, no. There's a lot of specific ratios you got to look at to understand this. And it feels nice because I've also done a hefty position, which the return could be pretty substantial if it works out. So.
Yeah, and I think that's what investing should be. Believe it or not, I know it's nice to like want to invest in companies that you think like 10 years from now they're going to be game changers and revolutionary. But most of investing is just finding those boring companies that do well and have been doing well over a long period of time, and just capitalizing on moments of weakness where you can. Like, yeah, and eventually I do want to talk about some franchise stocks eventually. So we could talk about that in the future.
I don't know about you guys, but when the pandemic happened, like the ones that know that you invest, they don't talk to you about it. They never talk to you about it. But once the pandemic happened, I'm sure your phone started ringing, right?
Yeah.
People asking you like, hey, what are you doing? Whatever. So I had a couple of those friends, and I can't tell you how many people in their like late 30s, 40s with kids who just started investing and just throwing money at everything. And like would say to me, oh, I invested this much in, some of them say I bought some Tesla, or I bought, and some Amazon, or some of the bigger tech. But then they go, yeah, I bought stock in this like this crazy, European brain drug company. And I'm like, well, why would you? Oh, because they're using acid to try to cure brain cancer. And I'm like, do you know anything about this company? Do you know anything about them? They're like, no, but I believe in the mission. And I'm like, that's not.
Do you know anything about assets? Yes.
Yeah, you don't invest because you believe in the mission, you believe in the numbers, or you believe that they'll achieve the mission. So it's cool to see. I mean, at 25.
Well, you know what I'm getting now? The calls that I've sold out of enphase, Tesla, whatever they bought.
Right.
Like
at the highs, though? Did they make any money?
I don't think so. I think that they wrote it. They were buying it when the highs were coming, and now the shine is worn off. Say it again. You want me to tell you who I'm actually getting calls from?
No.
Like these are like friends. These are like friends of yours.
In fact, Carlos knows one of them. I don't want to talk about him on this podcast, but people are very weak. People don't know enough information. They don't know enough. Like enphase, he bought, I think, higher than this, and he sold out already. All of it, all out of enphase.
I think there's. Do you feel like there's something? I don't know. People
as soon as it drops, people just don't believe.
Or they feel like they feel like because they missed the high, they have to take the punishment. The punishment is now I have to sell and take my beating like a man, instead of saying, well, if it went back up, or like you saying, Chris, if it's revisiting 2019 levels, right? You say to yourself, but we're at the same level as 2019, but everything since then has happened. Look how much more info I have since 2019. And I could have been as convicted as then without this info. I don't know. It just
this is what I'm saying.
The best,
it's psychology, man.
We spend all day talking about this, researching it in our free time, laying in bed, learning about all the tickers or the companies we're interested in. But these people are not. That's what I keep going back to. Most people are not so interested in this. It's just not entertaining to them to learn about finance. And that's a problem with the schooling system, because they don't make it interesting to learn about in the beginning.
100%. Bro, like so many people have reached out to us saying, you guys make finance fun. Like this could be taught in schools. It's not like we're some unique. I mean, we all have some fun personalities, but like you could figure out how to create a curriculum out of this and make stocks fun. Like we should all know about stocks in 12th grade, 11th grade.
Absolutely.
And we don't know about it after college.
It would be so easy. How cool would it be in your class if they broke people up into companies, right? And made companies, and then like half the class investing, or like one grade.
So Carlos, what you're talking about, Peter Lynch actually did that with a school in Massachusetts. So what they did was they took a bunch of middle.
You're like they're all 14-year-old billionaires.
Yeah. No. I'm just, dude. They actually beat the market. The kids beat like fund managers. Yeah, they had great.
They invested in what they knew.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't have any of the. They didn't have any of the biases or any of the hubris, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you would tell them about some biotech and you'd explain it like, no, I want like Disney stock. Okay. I want Nike sneakers. Like these, I actually heard that whole thing of him talking about that. It was fascinating. Anyone who hasn't seen the Peter Lynch talk about this, it's amazing.
Put the link. You should definitely put the link either in the chat or underneath the video.
Or join our Discord. Carlos and I have a Discord, and maybe Chris and Amit can join it too.
They're in there.
I'm on there. I'm on there.
I'm in your Discord too. I just don't check it out.
Carlos, you have a link? You can post it in the chat.
I'll do it, Carlos. I'll do it for you right now.
This was a link. This was it, like how the group of 13-year-olds beat the brightest minds on Wall Street. So basically, Peter Lynch. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Some of us are in our 40s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So basically, they just got a couple of key concepts from Peter Lynch, like how to look at a company, how to value a company, and then also like just things that they saw. And these guys, these kids were betting on
Pepsi. There you
all
go.
these
Baseball card,
companies.
that's a smart one. Look at
Yeah,
that.
and they beat the shit out of most fund managers with like billions and billions of dollars worth of research, and they couldn't do that. So I think what it is investing is not as complicated as hard as we think, but what it is understanding some key fundamentals and some principles, and then buying stuff that you just know and letting it work out. But I will say one thing that Peter Lynch I think gets wrong, and that's that he says don't worry about the general market, only worry about the company, right? Like that's one of the core principles. Like if the company's okay, don't worry about like the general macro economy and everything else. And I think for his time that may have been true, but I think nowadays with index investing and everything else, whether you have a good company or not, if the macroeconomic condition changes, your company could lose half of its value. Like look at what happened to Tesla. At one point, super
You're
high.
sounding like a trader again,
Huh?
and you're
No, but
sounding
he's
like
not,
a
but
trader
he-
again.
he's
No,
not-
because no,
he's not
but
wrong
Peter
when it comes
Lynch,
to-
he's actually has the hubris to say Peter Lynch, this is a different time. Peter Lynch has been investing for 40 plus years. The same with Warren Buffett. You buy and you hold good companies, and you just hold them throughout the bad times too. That's what you do. That's it. There's no secret. That
well, I don't know.
maybe that is the secret, and I've just told you all the
Yeah,
secret.
but keep in mind too that this incredible flow of information, the speed of information, just from say 2005. So we're only about 20 years into this. So a majority of their investment career, information was really slow and sort of privileged, right? You had to have a broker who would give you the information, and they had to have conversations. Now it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook, it's on CNN, and it's 24 hours a day. There's almost
That's a really good point, because the democratization of information might lead to not holding that company.
This is
just
what I'm
forever.
saying.
Because that company
it speeds up the time frames.
might go down a lot in the short term, and you would lose a lot of money. If like Tesla at 1 trillion, if everyone on Twitter was saying this shit's overvalued, and you actually put the numbers together and like, yeah, it's overvalued, and you sell, you save yourself a lot of money instead of just holding it through the down.
No, you guys are once again being very short term about it. Peter Lynch talks about even the 1987 crash. Like he was on vacation during this time. He gets a call. Of course, that happens. Something like that happens during that time. He goes, well, what can I do?
A homing pigeon came.
No, he goes, what can I do? It crashed like 60, 70%. His stocks just dropped. He couldn't do anything. He's like, all right, let me just wait a day or two. And he waited, and it was fine in the end. Okay. Because he knew how to wait and not rush into stupid decisions. People right now that we just talked about this, we have friends that are like selling out of high quality companies that are profitable. We're not talking about the shit stocks right now. I'm not talking about that. The FUVs of the world, which I was in.
Well,
speaking about the high quality, profitable companies that you might say are overvalued in the short term.
We're at $3.99. Come on.
I don't know. We're at 400. We're at 400.
Somebody get. No, I'm not. We're not at 400.
I didn't see that 400. I saw 399.
No,
actually,
we hit 402, but then Vitaly started going into, so I didn't want to interrupt him. But now we're at 399.
That's all right. But basically, you guys got to listen to more to Peter Lynch and read his books. He has many of them, and he basically says the secret to investing is the stomach
402
and not the brain.
Right, is the stomach.
So it's can you withstand the pain as your stocks fall? And he has a good story again about, I forgot what company it was, but it was falling. It went from like $60 to like $5, but in the meantime he was buying it all the way down, and
it's this book right here, Beating the Street. If anyone wants to just read on it, it's a really good book, Beating the Street. This is just a front cover.
It's a better book than Beating Your Meat.
I was just gonna okay.
But
anyway,
he goes about, he talks about buying into further into a company after he did a lot of due diligence. He looks at all the books, company's still falling. He's like, I don't know, I'm getting calls everywhere. This company keeps dropping. And he goes, well, I just had to buy some more of that. And I keep looking at the books, and they're making money. All of their pieces are worth more than the actual stock price, like the current market cap. He's like, I don't know.
He didn't have Twitter, bro. He didn't have Twitter.
That's the difference. He didn't have Twitter.
Fucker at 7:30, dropping some knowledge. The average time holding a stock currently is about 6 months, and that used to be about 3 years. So what you're getting is like you're getting 3 years. You're getting in the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, 3 years worth of market movement.
You're just getting more volatility. That's all you're getting.
Yeah,
this has nothing to do with the valuation of the company. If the company
nothing has to do with the valuation, but this is the time that people are holding their stocks. They're moving in and out of it, expecting things to moon or tank in this period of time. The stories don't play out like this.
Right after 6 months.
It's literally like it's like a relationship, right? The story of your relationship does not play out in 6 months. It takes years.
Let me paint a scenario to Vitaly. So let's say you bought Meta at 150, runs up to 300, 350 or something with the peak. You don't take profits because you're like, buy and hold forever. Meta was still a fine company. There was no issue.
I never said buy and hold forever, by the way. Never said that.
But buy and hold, presumably, let's say you bought
until you get what you're looking for. Yes.
Okay, you held it for a year. I would assume Peter Lynch says hold more than a year, right?
Okay.
Well, a minimum for the capital gains, but
okay, cool.
But beyond that, to Vitaly's point, you should know what your exit strategy is, because otherwise you get caught. Like if you don't have,
but that's my point. That's why this Peter Lynch thing doesn't make sense here, because if you buy at 150 and it goes to 340, it's still a phenomenal company. Nothing's wrong. Do you ride it all the way down to 88? Or do you fucking sell and then click it back up at 88?
You bought Neo at $2 and then you sold at $6. Why? Because you didn't plan and say they could have this much a market share of the EV.
No, but I gave you a separate scenario where
I'm going to give you. Can I answer your question? Can I answer your question? Look, you're right. Profits should be taken at some point, and maybe for you personally, a double, you should take a profit on a certain company. And Meta might be different. 300 might have been a time I should have taken some profits instead of trying to go in again, of course. But here's hold on. Here's another example. Like all along, me and Carlos were doing the channel. By the way, we started in 2020. I was buying enphase the whole time, $20, $40, $60. I just kept buying it. I wasn't really selling it. And even Carlos would say, "Why don't you sell it? You're already up like 3x, dude. You're up 4x. Why don't you sell it?" He would literally, we'd have that conversation all the time. I think his video is still up, of those videos, us talking about this. And why am I not selling it? I'm up so much. I was proven right. I waited till actually sell the big amounts at $300.
So
that's
when
I took profit.
That was a 10x That was a 10x at 300.
And now I wrote it all the way down to 160, which is half. That's true too. And I'm still up on that position, and I still sold the 300. So there is a point where you take, and I've always said at over 250 plus, I would take, and that's when I started to take. That's when I took a lot. Okay, that's
my wife sent me an interesting message. Now that she's been watching our show, I think she's becoming a little bit better of an investor, or probably worse. I don't know. But she said this. She said,
if you buy any more Palantir, I'm divorcing you.
Actually, no, she's the one holding Palantir.
Oh,
she said people don't have unlimited money to park and wait. Opportunity cost, bro.
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
Yo. She's dropping some knowledge.
Okay, Vitaly. We have 421
but
people.
I was wrong on Tesla. I do want to admit the mistake. Tesla hit $1 trillion, and I think me and Carlos were talking about, look, we're at 40 billion when we were buying it. We're like, at $1 trillion, we should probably like sell some fucking Tesla.
Well, but
we didn't sell some fucking Tesla,
and we didn't sell, and we didn't do it either when Bitcoin hit $1 trillion.
When Bitcoin hit 67,000, and we were in Bitcoin. I was in it since 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, all those. I was buying it all along with Carlos. Why didn't we sell a little bit at 67? That's also a mistake. At some points when the market cap is so massive, what is the upside when it's so massive? But when you ask me about, like enphase, is the market cap so massive at $40 billion? Right now, I think it's at 20. No, it's not massive. It hasn't reached where it's supposed to go. So yes, I took some profits, but there is no way in hell I'm getting rid of my main position until this motherfucker is over $100 billion.
Oh, I mean, I was thinking 500. I wouldn't even.
Well,
500 million.
I have an exit.
Yeah, yes, dude. Yes.
This guy's even more bullish than me. I have an exit strategy.
Let's just say
what you don't understand is it's like you were saying, it's not just the company. What happens as they actually disrupt the companies that they're disrupting?
No, I get your thesis.
There's nobody left. There's no player in town. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? This is like part of the bull thesis on Tesla. What happens as legacy auto goes out of business? People go, holy shit, they're doing it. I'm watching this happen. The wave, the FOMO, it's ridiculous. And that's when you get mega increase in market cap. That's essentially what happened with Apple with that phone. Let's be honest.
I think people are saying LOL 500 billion. So I'm not as bullish as Carlos apparently right now.
But that's that's a ways away, but still. But you're talking about the double from here.
It's 20 billion. This is what I'm saying right now.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. You were saying this.
If we are at $20 billion in terms of changing the world, right? Changing the world at $20 billion, get out of here. It's a joke now.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. This has a much bigger company.
That's a good point too. That's a good point that Rango's making about acquisitions.
As I drive through neighborhoods, one of the things I started to notice was where I would infrequently see solar panels, I'm starting to see solar panels populate. And it's so weird because you're like, wait a second, I didn't see this house didn't have panels last week, and the other day I was driving and I was like, That sucks for this guy because his main roof is pointed towards the road, which is not optimized for the sun.
He's
But
south
like,
facing or something, right?
but the
Mine isn't
but,
too, by the way. Mine
yeah,
isn't too. It's still
but
fine.
but the part of his roof that is like good,
It's
he's got solar
melting.
panels on it, right? So I'm thinking to myself, like, yeah, maybe when I buy a house, I'll make sure, because eventually I'm probably gonna get panels. So I'm like, I better make sure it's facing the right direction, because this way I can put the maximum amount of panels up there to get the maximum electricity. I'm like, these fucking guys, they got me hooked on the solar shit, bro. Now I'm thinking like a homeowner that's gonna get solar.
That's good, because I think your transformation will be complete. You already got Tesla. Soon you'll have enphase. It'll be over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
I told you guys 150 was my target, right? We're close to it. We're close to it.
I
So,
mean, if you're not picking up shares right now, Chris, come
Yeah.
on. 160, 150.
Or
This
at
is
least
going to stop.
selling puts that would give you the shares if it hits that.
that's not a bad idea. You know what it is, guys? I have so much confidence right now in the banking system, because that one's like literally it's a no-brainer to me. So it's like, look, I don't want to waste the opportunity cost on something that could happen, especially with the current
On a
market the way it
10-bagger.
is.
He hates the opportunity.
No.
cost of a 10-bagger.
No.
It's but because I know some of Chris's strategies that expire in 2025, and if those play out, enphase would have to get to a very high price to match the return. So the opportunity cost is real that he's talking about here.
Well, let me ask you, if he does spreads on that, it's probably a similar return.
But it's more riskier. It's a growth stock. The bank just has to go back to normal.
You could
enphase
be
has
right
to
about
execute.
that. You
And
could be
last
right
quarter, I
about
lost
that.
so much fucking money because of you, Vitaly, getting me to buy this stock. But anyway,
Yeah, it's my fault.
No, actually, no.
I told you to sell, by the way.
Yeah,
Didn't I
because
tell him
you did.
10
You did.
times to sell?
I'm
Dude,
up
I made the
1,400 in the
same-
WhatsApp. I'm like, Vitaly, I'm up 1,400. He's like,
said
sell that
sell.
shit.
We bought it around the same price, around the 140, whatever. And I sold, man. I sold. That's and
Do you have any more
I
enphase,
can't-
Carlos? Or you're
yes,
you're
I mean,
out?
I have some.
He has 2 shares.
I sold. Yeah, no, I have some. I have some, but I'm also waiting to buy back in because I wrote it up. And to be honest, I probably would have held it, but that was right when I needed the money for the Plaid. So I said, it's destiny, because I'm like, I don't want to sell anything else, right?
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you regret at all taking money out of the market and buying a car, or do you think your life is worth more than that money even going higher, and the Tesla gives
If
you
I
more
was
happiness?
if I was 5 years younger, I wouldn't have bought the car.
Okay.
If I
If this
like
was 5
39,
years
40,
ago, I wouldn't
yeah.
have bought the pool.
Yeah, I wouldn't have bought the car. I wouldn't have bought the car. You
Yeah.
could maybe it's like a midlife crisis, and it's that this is my Corvette and my leather jacket or my Harley.
But I'm happy you got it because you love Tesla. Like, you fucking love them. You like it. I'm happy for you that you have that car, you know?
Well, I also needed it because my family is growing. There was reasons why I said
I need a
need-
$140,000
these
car. You don't get it. You don't understand, man.
No,
you
no.
want to flex with your daughter.
But
you
I
know?
also
No,
but
Carlos,
I
imagine
needed
when
that.
we were young. Imagine when we were pretty young when we met each other. Imagine we were like 15 years old. We're like,
Yeah.
like $140,000 would mean nothing. Like that would be like, oh
No, but listen,
was such
at
big money.
at the time. Dude, at the time, my parents could have bought a home for $80,000, $90,000.
Right, I mean, like,
$140,000 car back then in the 80s or whatever was a supercar. So
it
just
was a Lamborghini. It was a Lamborghini.
Yeah, it was a Lamborghini, which is fine. Okay, so you adjust it for inflation. No, I don't necessarily need that car, but I also said to myself, I'm going to hold this car for a long time. I see it as an investment. And this is off topic, but I do believe that the S and X will get discontinued, possibly within the next 2 years. And so I believe that there will be a tremendous value to this vehicle later on down the line.
I don't
if
know,
they
man.
stop
That's
making
that doesn't seem logical, because
no,
those are
it's the truth. The only reason
Really?
why the only reason why it does no volumes for them. It's like nothing.
no, but the margin is super high for them, right?
But
Like they're making.
but you're selling 10,000 of them a quarter. It's nothing.
Yeah, but look at Ferrari, right? Ferrari is a luxury brand, but the margins on those are crazy, right? So I think that Tesla will always keep around a certain production of those cars because they're so high margin. Like, think about it this way: the Roadster, right? The Roadster is going to be expensive as hell, but I know there's a
But
category
those
of people that are going to want to buy it.
Those margins are ridiculous.
Yeah.
The margins on the Roadster will be ridiculous. But in reality, the S and X were really to have a place as like a pilot program for future technology, and the X was strictly for like its wow factor to completely differentiate it, and the S was, like you said, the smackdown or whatever it was to ICE vehicles.
Yeah.
But that's done already. Now Tesla's kind of moving into, it's maturing a little bit as a company, and I do think that they don't necessarily need those vehicles anymore. I would hate to see it go because I still think that they can still build on the platform. But I would understand. And if I'm holding one of those vehicles, that's one of the remaining, say, 2022 Plaids, I think that I'll actually see an increase.
Correct me if I'm wrong. The Roadster is like their race car thing, right?
It's a supercar. It's like a Ferrari.
And it hasn't come out yet.
No.
Oh, but he did talk about it on the last Investor Day.
He only announced it 2017. Don't worry about it.
Well, they announced it around the same time as the Cybertruck, and it's going to be it's supposedly they'll have limited production next year. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong, but at the whatever
I
it
think
was,
he
the
said
Investor
that.
Day recently, the shareholder.
I like what
I'm,
Crossroads said. I have never regretted taking gains, and that wasn't true for me like 5-10 years ago, and now
Yeah.
it is true. I just don't care if I take the money out of the market and I buy something nice for myself. I just don't care about it. I used to care.
But ask us if we were Chris's age, 38, 39. I feel like I would have felt like I haven't earned it yet. And a good bit of it was the kid, having the kid, just being like, what am I going to drive? Am I going to still drive like a 2-door sedan? That's irresponsible. You're gonna
Right.
Yeah, same here, man.
Real quick. I'm putting the StreamYard in the chat. We're at 15 minutes.
What am I going to drive? A RAV4? What am I, a peasant?
Anyone can
Kanye
join and
West-
ask us
that's
a
the Kanye
question.
West
Just make sure you have your
song.
camera on. Go ahead.
Lyrics.
Chris. But,
What am I going to
No.
push a fucking rap?
We didn't talk about Unity. I did want to talk about it.
Yeah,
but I
go
think we
for
should
it.
do that tomorrow. No, I mean, like
Yeah,
maybe
let's
that's
spend
a tomorrow thing. No. Tomorrow. Tomorrow's fine.
Oh,
It's a bigger discussion.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I agree with you guys. Like, I'm at a point in life where I think there's only going to be a certain amount of time where you get to do and enjoy certain things. Like me and the wife, we really want to go travel and stuff. So like, I'm like, look, whether or not I have a shit ton of money in gains, dude, I'm going to take the wife and go on like a trip somewhere.
You should.
You know,
Absolutely.
I'm making up for it because I had
Amit cannot do this because he has our money.
You're not allowed to go on vacation.
But Chris,
bro,
you can do
I
that.
have no desire to go anywhere. Like my
Good,
mom
you're
went to
25.
Switzerland in this. Yeah, my mom went to Switzerland in the summer and she was like, you should come. And I was like, no, I'm going to be miserable. Like, I want to fucking build shit. I don't want to be in fucking the Alps in the Swiss. Okay,
Yeah, but
real
if you
quick,
don't-
before we get these
Yeah.
people in the back, Vitaly, there's 437 people here. You ditched us Thursday and Friday, so I didn't get your opinion. How did you feel about Palantir running up to 12? Your quick 60 seconds on
No,
a nice
sure.
little run-up.
First of all, I'm happy for everybody who's making money on Palantir. I have nothing against the Palantir community, by the way. But I will personally not invest in Palantir until
You still won't buy.
No, I think CARP is a main reason. Gap profitability feels like it's a little bit fake. I think they're just maneuvering to please the market. And the other thing is that it's, once again, CARP is the issue, but still to this day, even though it ran up, what's the current price?
$10,
$25 billion market cap, like 1170, something like that.
I sold at 1250.
You're still good.
6 months ago, 8 months ago.
You're still good.
And
Yeah.
it's still
you
not-
had a good
it's
sell.
not-
I'm not saying you had a bad sell. You had a
And
good
it's
sell.
still not beyond that. So like wake me up when they're back at 25.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Understood.
guys, remember, at the end of the day, this is the current value is $25 billion, right? And their net income is $16 million. Like,
And
just-
from
just remember-
operations, it's 4 million from operations. So
Yeah.
that's the other 12 million is from fucking
We gotta, yeah. so
treasuries.
they-
So just know that they're not like completely out of the woods. Just, just give it time, but be
Wow, that's
safe.
great.
I do wanna
That's
mention-
great. And
I do
now
wanna
that-
mention
put
one
that in
thing that-
perspective. They're 5 times what SoFi is.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
SoFi is nothing
That.
compared to that's it.
No. I disagree. SoFi,
I
think,
like
has
SoFi.
way-
I think it can 5x before Palantir, but Palantir's
Yeah.
potential is way bigger to me than SoFi.
No,
But you don't
I
got-
agree.
but
Maybe,
you're not-
maybe one day, but I think SoFi at $4 billion with all the shit that they're doing and they're operating. Dude, one of the things that I really am shocked with SoFi, if you look at their operating income, even though it's negative, they're like literally on the steady stream
Yeah.
of getting profitable.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
honestly think Noto is probably holding back on profitability and instead focusing on making sure that
Market
he's
share.
investing in all, not even market share, products. Dude, SoFi has so many goddamn products under their belt right now that are already fully built out that the next phase is just getting people to switch and use those products as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's so you know what it is? He used this time to build up all the products and the technology stack. And now that he's getting as many users as possible, because SoFi, if they really wanted to be profitable, you know what they have to do, Amit? They could just say, you know what, instead of paying 4.25% on their or 4.5% on deposits, we're going to pay 3.5. They're still beating everyone else out in the market who's not giving that money, right? And
But
they
if
say that
they lose users,
no, but they're not going to.
They'll
They're
never get
not
them back. They'll never get them
They're
back.
not
Bad
going to.
metric.
They're not. Yeah, but the thing is, they're not going to lose that many users for a couple of points here and there. But their profitability will become instant, right? The thing is, though, he's not doing that because he's smart. He's saying, look, my goal right now is not to be profitable. It's to get as much market share so that this way I can bring people into the SoFi ecosystem
And upsell.
and
All right, we got
upsell.
three people in the
Because you
background.
get-
We gotta
in
get
5 years-
Can I say one thing about Palantir
Yes,
that I
Vitaly,
am?
last thing, then we're done. Go ahead.
Well, I am actually impressed with, and I've just recently learned this maybe a week ago from you guys, was what is that they're working on their large language models, that their internal
AIP.
AI.
AIP.
What is it called?
Yeah. AI.
So
AI
that
platform.
sounds very interesting. That's the news headline that I'm sort of.
That's the
looking
only reason
for.
the stock is running up, by the way. Carp said there's a shit ton of demand for that. And
It's
that's
definitely
why-
very interesting. And once again, I think if Carp was replaced like tomorrow with just a seasoned CEO, sort of like Lyft is doing right now and Uber did, I'm telling you the stock.
That's where I disagree. But
I have to agree. And I also agree with Noto's strategy, because if you get these guys now, if you get someone like Amit right now and you got him banking with SoFi, when he goes to buy a house in 5 years, where's he going to go?
SoFi.
He's going to go to SoFi. And now you're going to get a
SoFi.
300,000.
Where's he going to buy his home insurance? SoFi.
SoFi.
Do you know
Where's
what
he
I'm
going to
saying?
invest his money? SoFi.
And right, yeah. So I think it's a really, really smart move to get those guys in early, because that's what I did when I went to go buy a house. Right, I went straight to the bank. That's known my record. That's on my banking record for the last 10 years. So super smart move by the guy. Moving them from student loan to mortgage.
Just think about it. $4 billion.
All right, we got to go to the
shit
back.
ton of assets.
We got people in the back. Here we go. King Cash.
King
what's
Cash.
up?
Hey, what's up, gentlemen?
How's it
You
going?
beautiful people.
How are you doing, sir?
Tell me more.
I'm
No,
doing well.
just
I'm
talking.
doing well. So I got a quick question. I know you guys bring up semiconductors, but there's one play you guys haven't mentioned. They're about to IPO this year. Have you ever heard of ARM?
Yes,
Of
I
course.
spoke
We
about
talked
Yes,
about
that.
this on the
yes.
last one. We talked about
Yes.
this.
Yeah, we talked
Oh,
about
did
it
you?
on,
Did you?
on
Okay,
Friday.
cool.
It was
So,
a long conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, nice. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I missed that. Friday.
Yeah.
You guys don't do
Thursday.
streaming on
Thursday.
It was with Rango.
Yeah,
It was with
Thursday.
Rango.
Okay.
It was with Rango.
Oh, you guys have a private stream on Friday. No.
Cash.
But,
I called my broker already, and I told him, like, you either get me an allocation in ARM when it IPOs, or I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do business with you anymore.
Dude,
Like
thank you.
literally,
So,
ARM is definitely, everyone listen to this guy. ARM is the one you want to check out.
yeah, so long story short, I train a lot of clients in this industry, and I asked one of my clients, I was like, hey, so what do you think about this company ARM? And he said, this is one of the most important companies in the world.
Mhm.
And I was
True.
like, oh, snap. So when he said that, I was like, all right. And this is someone that's in the industry, so I take what he has to say. So I'm glad you guys said ARM. My bad, I didn't hear it on your last live stream.
No, it's cool. It's exciting.
Dude,
Super exciting. company.
You made Amit take his hat off. You gave him
Yeah.
a little bit of a complex
So
there.
just for reference, Nvidia tried to buy ARM out for $40 billion. Okay.
Yep.
The only reason why that deal didn't go through is because the regulators said, no. We're not going to let Nvidia get bigger than
And
it
thank
already
God.
is.
Thank God they
Thank
said that,
God.
by the way.
But I'll tell you,
Yeah, like
this-
Nvidia was willing to pay a leg and an arm for that deal.
Yes,
Okay. Like it was
yes.
No
insane.
pun intended.
yeah.
It wasn't
Like
intended.
everything that you have, like if you look at your phone, right, your iPhone, it has an ARM designed chip in there, right? Everything Apple, Qualcomm, everything like Amazon, anything that you have right now in your home is probably based on an ARM design. Just think about the
Yeah.
total addressable market.
No,
for
no,
that.
but
So, no,
basically
I-
everything.
yeah.
And that's only
Yeah.
because Intel messed everything up back in
with x86. Yep.
well, they just didn't think this was a real market, and they messed everything up.
Okay, that's awesome. And then one more question before this man is in the floor. No, I'm not wrestling bears. There's no bears in the Bay Area. Just like
Bro, if
there's
you saw a
different
bear
kind of
right
bears.
now,
You know what
you
bears
are
I'm
in
you
the
saw
talking
a
same
bear, what would
spot.
you do?
You're in the same spot you were last time.
You get into a fetal
Well, it
position.
gets dark over there. Well, there's different bears in the Bay Area. There's like rainbow colors, you know. But
There's
So,
a
I got one
Palantir
question
bear
for
in
Vitaly.
California
Vitaly,
as well,
are you
in
Russian?
Carmen.
Are
I
you
am.
Russian?
Russian
Okay.
Jew, baby, right
Um,
here.
Okay, perfect. Carlos, how long have you known Vitaly?
We met when we were 14 years old. Well, he's a year
14.
younger than me. So
So
I was 14.
How old are you now? 18? 21?
Yeah.
20 something.
Around
we're
25.
All right. So have you ever got
45.
Russian food with Vitaly?
Probably.
No, we don't.
Oh,
you must
no.
have eaten
Bro,
at my
see,
house.
look at that shit, dude.
What are you
No
talking
one
about?
gets Russian food, bro.
I don't think
I'm
no.
telling you.
Russian food is disgusting. Okay, I'm sorry to tell you.
I think we went to.
Okay,
Russian
Oh man, do I gotta lay the smackdown on Indian food
No,
now?
No. Hey, I used to live in Russia. So I used to live in Ukraine and Russia. I was born in Iran. I lived in all these
that's awesome.
crazy countries. Not really, but Russia was cold. Russia, Ukraine was super cold. But anyway, long story short is like I've talked to so many people. I'm like, when's the last time you had Russian food? No one has Russian food. I'm like, What?
Because
But
it's
I love
horrible.
borscht.
It's not horrible. I'll take you to a restaurant one day, buddy.
We got it.
Thank you. Take a.
You gotta
You've been
pick a
friends
spot.
with Carlos. He hasn't had Russian food.
He has. He
You guys
doesn't
probably had
remember. He must have eaten at my
Japanese
house a couple
food.
of times. I'm sure of it.
No,
Bro.
for sure. At like a band practice or something, but I don't remember
Yeah.
it. But like peanut butter jelly or pizza is not.
No. My mother always had food. What are you talking about? My
I don't
mother
know.
always had
I don't
food.
remember, but I do remember a Russian wedding. You can't leave there in anything but a wheelchair because it's too much. It's so much food.
And
Russian wedding was
alcohol.
crazy. Yeah, vodka for breakfast. Yeah, a lot of food, a lot of alcohol, and it never stops coming.
I mean, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. Russian food is like made to survive winter, right? It's like borscht, it's like stews, it's like all the hearty food. So it's not like delicious, but I've had it for sure. I mean, I'll eat garlic. You know,
Listen.
I eat
No
salad.
one invaded Russia to get their food. Okay, everyone invaded India to get their curry, right? That's what I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, Cap.
Awesome. All right, gentlemen. Take
Thank
care.
you so much,
Yeah.
man. All right, next up, we got Crossroads. Hello, sir.
Hey,
Okay,
what's up?
first
Hey,
of all,
guys.
Crossroads. How the hell do you have a 20-year-old kid?
Well, I'm 42, so I got married at 21.
Ooh,
9
22,
months
man.
later, still 21, and he
Wow.
was born. So
Wow.
I would have sworn you were in your 30s. I didn't want to write that, but holy shit,
Thanks.
man.
Yeah, my
Are you
wife.
drinking? Do you drink the holy water? Is that what you do? Like you actually just
Hey, if it works, it
Like,
works. But yeah, my
exfoliate
wife
it?
is the same age, and people
Mhm.
like she'll go out with my 20-year-old. You know, if like very rarely, like he's working and busy, but they'll think that they're married because he looks older for his age, and she looks like she's like maybe 28, and she's my same age. So it's like, man, we were just blessed in that way. But yeah. So my oldest is 20, and that's actually what I was calling in or chatting in for. So a little bit of the pre-chat, and just to give some background for people that didn't see it. I got a 20-year-old. He's going the career route. I've got a 19-year-old as well that he's learning how to do engineering at the university. So he's got a few years out. And I've talked to him about investing in personal finance, and they're pretty solid. My 20-year-old, though, his mentality is he wants to buy a stock primarily. Like he might buy a couple others too, but just really, really invest heavily in the next 2 or 3 years on one particular stock and hold it for like 20 years. I've told him like, hey, pick
Bad.
3 or 4. And I've recommended to him like, hey, Tesla's really good, enphase, and he's not going to do enphase because he was a solar salesperson. He doesn't like solar. He's been
He
burned
was
out
the guy that showed up at Amit's house.
yeah, maybe. No, not really. But, no, he hates it. I'm like, I can't even talk to him about it. But he's got a little bit of Palantir. He loves ChargePoint, which I don't love. But if I was going to say, if you had a kid, 20 years old, that he's going to probably invest about 40 to 50 grand over the next 2.5 years because he's got his emergency fund. And he's gonna do what he's gonna do. He's like me, he's stubborn. He's gonna hit that one stock, maybe.
That's bad.
And I'm trying to tell him, hey, just get your position there, look for something else. But if you had a 20-year-old and he's just gonna do what he's gonna do, he's gonna
Hold on. This 50 grand came from you,
no,
correct? So
no,
where did he
he's
get
earning
the
it
50 grand
himself.
from?
He just we moved down
You know
here
the
to
best
Texas.
lesson for a 20-year-old is to
Yeah.
lose his
Lose that
money.
fucking-
Oh yeah, like he lost some, like he was
To
investing
lose his
when he was
money,
16,
and that's
so.
what might happen if he.
But
he
how did
bets on
how
one
did he
thing.
make the 50 grand at 20 years old? That's
No,
insane.
he does not have 50 grand yet. He's got like
Okay.
two or 3 grand in the market, and he's building up to I can't remember what his savings goal was, but it was a decent amount. And since we just moved, he decided to move with us because he's gone the career out, and he's like, hey, things are pretty good here in Texas. So for now, he's just renting from us, living with us, and that's working fine. We're making him pay rent though, so it's good for him.
That's
But
actually, okay, you know what? I would take his rent money and I would invest it for him on the side. Don't use it. I'm serious.
right.
If you're, and I don't mean like jumping on this question, but I do think because I had to do this with my mother. Okay, you're doing this with your son. I had to do this with my mother. She kept saying, "I want to sell. I want to sell." You know what? You know what I would do? I just give her the money. I would just give her the money. Then, like a year later, she'd be like, "Oh man, I heard that this thing went up." I'd say, "You know what? I never sold it. I just gave you the money because you have to prove it." Because like Vitaly's saying, they're not going to learn until he loses the money. So maybe you make him think he lost the money, but you invest on the side.
No, you actually have to lose it first, unfortunately.
But then you don't ever have.
There's nothing learned if his father bails him out.
yeah, I won't do that. He knows that too. But no,
So,
this
so
is all.
Crossroads, your question is what stock should he invest in or what strategy should he invest in?
Since he's dead set on this, if he was going to pick one over the next and just hold it for the next 10 years because he does not want to trade in and out, which is mostly good when you're 20.
No, that's great.
What's your advice?
I would say the indexes. You know, for someone who's young, the good thing is get him early into index investing, because you can always transition on later in life and take some of those gains and put them in individual stocks. Right now, he should be focusing not on the stock market, but on his career. So I would say, because he's so young, get him into an index, like something low risk, like VU or VTI, and just let him, like, look, son, if you want for the next 10 years, buy this, let it grow. And then over time, if you want to take some of it, like 5%, put it into an individual name, go for it. Because what's going to happen is he's going to see that individual name lose money and go up and down, but he's going to see that rock solid gain from that VU position. So he won't get like super greedy about it. And he won't be like a lot of people that make mistakes. Like, look, if I just pick this one stock and it 10X's, I'll be fine. I'll guarantee you time in, you know what they say, time in the market is better than
timing the market.
Yeah, and the best way, because he's so young, and he'll thank you when he's 40 years old, is just buying an index, holding on to it, and just chilling right now. And right now, a lot of great indexes are undervalued from what they were about 2 years ago. So right now, if he gets in, he'll be fine. I think VTI, VOO, he's a young guy. Let him use that. And as he sees that money grow, he'll want to keep investing more and more. And you'll get a good return out of it too. So that's the way that I would recommend.
The other thing I would throw out there is that he can also, to Chris's point, you can buy the indexes. And then later on, if you feel strongly about one of the two companies in there, you can do a separate snipe on the side and invest a little bit more in that company on the side. The other thing too is he's 20 years old. Do you believe, did you believe anything that you thought at 20 when you were 23, 24, 25? He's going to grow out of it.
Yeah.
Like he's stubborn on it right now, but he'll probably evolve as an investor as he gets beaten up a little bit and as he gets some more knowledge and as he learns more from you and as he watches Finance Junkies every day at 7 p.m. Pacific time and 10 p.m. Eastern.
All right. Fuck what all three of these guys said. Buy Ginkgo Bioworks.
I didn't say anything.
No. Terrible advice.
I feel bullish on this fucking company.
Yeah.
They're gonna do well.
Terrible advice.
It's at $1. They're gonna do well.
How many shares do you have, Amit? How many shares do you have, Amit?
0, because I'm in Truist.
Okay, there you go. So this is
is
what
to
I
make
actually
money, though.
did.
The goal is to make money.
This is what I did for my kid, and I'm doing it currently. They know they have an account, but I'm just buying things for them at this point. They're only 11 and 9. So I bought them VOO, like you said, but it's a smaller percentage. Tesla, enphase, Google, Amazon, Meta. If one of those does well, they're okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're fine.
I don't need all 5 of them to do well.
Yeah.
So that's what's important, that they're going to be at least, they're in growth, but mostly diversified growth.
Yeah.
Or just Palantir. Like, why not Palantir?
I
For
love
20
something.
years?
The point is,
Palantir's going to 5x over 20 years? Like, at this valuation? I mean,
He's trying to get more viewers. You see this? He's trying
no,
to
I'm
grow-
not. I'm
no,
literally-
he's doing. You're right. He's trying to make a YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
You guys really
QQQ
think over
is
20
also
years
good.
Palantir is not a good
Yeah.
investment? Fucking, it's 20 years. If he actually is going to hold it for 20 years, you know?
Yeah, well, and I'll ask him to watch this over this week when he has off day on Tuesday or Wednesday, just to see what you guys had to say. So he knows that I'm not the only one that's preaching to it, because I mean, you guys know at that age it's hard to listen to your old man. So
Listen, if he wants to double up quick, TFC, baby. Truist, he'll double his money in a year, and then he'll be like,
Oh, boy.
I am set on buying banks, baby. Buy banks. That's what
Buy
you
the
got to
banks.
do.
it's
At that
better
age,
than
at
Charge
that age,
Point.
20 years old or whatever.
It's better than
20,
Charge
23
Point.
years
That
old.
I agree. Yes.
Yeah, way
Yeah.
better than Charge
And
Point.
he'll get 7% dividend at the same
That's
time.
right. So guess what? Every time, every quarter, he'll get a nice little deposit in his account. Be like, what? Free money? Yes, please.
That's when the light bulb goes off for sure.
Yeah.
One of my
But at
best
that
stocks, which I don't pay attention to, is O. And
Yeah,
you know what
that's
O
another
is?
good
It's
one.
the REIT.
Monthly, yeah.
It's a REIT. Pays
Okay.
you monthly. It's amazing.
What is the Crossroads? Last question for you. What is the career he's trying to go into right now?
He doesn't know. He's still figuring that out. He did the solar cells just for a little bit, hated it. He doesn't want to do anything with cells. He was looking at programming for a while. He may get into that. He loves programming. He's very, very smart. And he did some manufacturing while he was his senior year in high school and the year after that too. So
Very cool.
but yeah, he's still
Love it.
figuring out, like a lot of us, you know.
Bro,
100%.
electrician, locksmith, plumber. If I had a kid, they're 18, I'd be like, look, you can go to college and spend 4 years, or you can do one of these crafts and make 100. I know a guy in the city right now making 200 to 200,000, and the guy's got maybe 6 months of apprenticeship under his belt, and that's it. He has such a leg up on most people. Most people are in their 30s still trying to pay off their student debt. This guy has more money and now he's got a shit ton of income properties in the city. So he's just chilling. So
and most people at 30 can't unclog their toilet, you know?
Yeah.
So, thank you
That's
for
right.
laughing,
Especially-
Crossroads.
especially you get
fucking
fast track
appreciate
the
you.
union.
And AC
You get fast
repair,
track the
AC
union, you get
AC repair and
HVAC.
elevator repair.
HVAC.
HVAC and elevator repair. Trust me, those
elevator repair guys make a boatload of cash.
dude, a
They
lot.
make a lot of
So-
money because when they get
Right.
called in,
And
think about
welder.
it.
And Johnny's right.
Yeah,
welder.
yeah, those guys get paid. You call
Yeah.
you call an elevator guy in when the shit's hitting the fan and you need it fixed today. So
Oh,
those
yeah.
guys just make killing hourly
Yeah.
rate.
I appreciate it, guys. Love your channel. Love listening to you, and I'll share this with him, and we'll see if he listens. But
Keep
he's
us-
got a
By
good
the way,
head on
Crossroads.
Yeah.
Most of these apprenticeships nowadays, they goddamn pay you to be an apprentice. I don't know if you
Oh,
know
yeah.
that. They pay like $50 an hour to be an apprentice. Like,
Yeah,
It's hard jobs. It's hard shit.
in this area in Texas, they had, and I don't know if it's still true, but a year ago when we moved here, they were giving some sort of massive bonus. Like you had to be there a certain amount of time if you apprenticed as an engineer. And I was like, hey, just try it out, see if you like it.
Yeah.
And God, I don't know. And he went with the solar thing, which is not bad, but it just wasn't for him. So,
The good thing is he's thinking for himself and he's making mistakes and he's gonna figure it out
Oh,
himself, which is a good part.
yeah.
all right.
All right. Thank you, Crossroads.
you, guys.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you listening to the pod all the time. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Last one. Adam. What's up, bro?
What's
He's
up,
back.
guys?
He's back.
Back.
What's
Do
happening?
we only have
I'm
like
back.
3 viewers actually?
I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are all bots.
Yeah, I think I'm the fourth.
It's
We're
like,
the
it's like
fourth
the
one.
same rotation.
ET FaceTime. Where's ET FaceTime?
Yeah.
Where's ET
That's
FaceTime?
FaceTime in the name. Her tweet
Oh,
cat.
that's true. That's true.
Where's that?
Adam, what's your question?
Money.
I was just wondering, does enphase, like, are they helping with like bankrupt solar companies and the customers from those people? Because honestly,
Oh, yes.
they are.
I know.
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. What happens to when a company goes bankrupt? Does enphase still warranty their product? Yes, they do, and they will hook you up with a new person to handle that warranty.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying? Like when it gets
kinda.
smaller?
That's kind of what I'm saying. I mean, like, I love the answer to that. But so I'm in Michigan. Okay. So I bought solar in like 2018.
Nice.
Okay. So I had it for a while. They still work great.
Solar
like
Edge or enphase?
Power Home Solar, actually.
What?
So
No, but there's a difference between the company that the company that sold you the system
Yeah.
and the company that makes the products that they installed.
yeah, 100%. So this is my issue, and why I'm trying to ask the question is I'm not really sure what's going on. So basically, my buddy who used to come into the restaurant that I was running at the time was a solar salesman, kind of like Crossroads Son or whatever was going on there.
The door-to-door guy, yeah.
So yeah, he comes over, he pitches me it, and I'm like, yeah, that's why not? Like, it's cheaper than my bill now. I'm gonna own the panels. I'm gonna not pay anything. Guys, my bill today was $0. Like DTE just charged me $9.
That's
Like,
great, right? To
I
be
don't-
connected.
yeah.
Connection
for-
fee.
Yeah, that basically connection.
Exactly. So like it makes no sense to not have solar at this
So
point.
are you complaining or you're giving a bull case for solar?
No, I'm just wondering, like, what do I do if something? So now I bought it through. They're bankrupt now. Like Power Home Solar is bankrupt.
Right.
What do I do if something goes wrong? Like, should I call enphase and be like,
Well,
hey,
I don't know. Well, first of all, I don't know what you have. You probably have a Solar Edge or an enphase system. But those
absolutely.
companies do cover you for their products for a certain
Okay.
time. enphase has a longer warranty and a better warranty where you can call them personally and they will hook you up with somebody. They will go out of their way to make sure you are satisfied.
That's
Yeah,
if you
Solar
have
Edge,
it. Though. That's if you
Solar
have
Edge,
it.
I can't say that about them. And I've heard bad things about that
Okay.
kind of stuff. And it takes longer to get products. So once again, that's why I'm an enphase bull and not a Solar Edge bull, because of this network that they have to fix their shit, which always will break. Everything breaks eventually.
Before
Yeah,
I was,
But I don't know what
before
you
I was
have,
in-
and you have to tell us what you have first.
before I was in this in the TV and film industry, I was like an alarm camera system, burglar alarm system installer. I worked in a lot of that sort of that blue collar field, and it's very similar to like the home solar installation. The big difference is though we had a monthly monitoring fee. So in other words, we were charging you monthly to monitor, say, your alarm system, and that meant that you would get service because we wanted that monthly. It was a dividend. You would pay us forever. With solar, we don't have that. And so once the installer leaves, that ends the terms of your negotiation. You might, if you look in your contract, you might have a sort of extended warranty on the install of it. So if something happens to the installation of it, then they might cover that. If they're out of business, though, you have to go back to the original manufacturer's warranty and hope that they installed it to the specs that the manufacturer recommends. Because if they did a freaking Mickey Mouse job on it and didn't install it correctly, they're not going to cover you because they're going to say that's what caused the issue. But what I would do is,
if there's an installer fault,
then you're screwed.
And that's my main problem. So like I was refinancing my house and they found like a leak or something, and it was related to my solar panels. And so I had to have them come out and fix it. They weren't bankrupt at this point. And now I'm looking through my documents and like I can't find anything. There's actually a lawsuit going on. I've gotten stuff in the mail. I've been kind of like involved with it. Yeah. So like just kind of waiting on that. And I was just like, I don't know, just like I just wanted like some kind of perspective from you.
If there's a hole in your roof, if there's a hole in your roof,
it's nothing serious. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying if the installer put a hole in your roof, enphase will not fix that hole in your roof.
Oh, okay? Absolutely. And I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying like you know,
do you have an app on your phone that monitors the production?
I did, but now that the app's totally done for now.
I don't think he has enphase.
It's non-existent. Yeah,
that's what's
knowing the company. I would doubt it's enphase like that.
Can you take a picture?
But I can't see anything.
Can you take a picture and email us?
You'll have to come back when you get some more information because
can you tweet us?
Enphase or solar?
Tweet
it out actually.
Yeah, I'll send you guys if I find anything that's interesting or anything like that.
I'm curious what you have. I'm curious what you got.
Yeah, I mean it works great. I mean honestly, like I have enough energy for the situation, you know. So like,
you go up on his roof, it's a bunch of hamster wheels up there, and just running all freaking day.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they're working good then. You know, I'll take those hamsters.
Oh, we did forget. Thanks, Fudbucker. Yeah, smash the like, everybody.
Yeah,
hit like and subscrib, please.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
man.
we are. Pretty awesome.
Bye bye.
Yeah, this was a good one, guys.
You know, Johnny always fucks with us. I'm gonna fuck with Johnny right now. This was his tweet. Okay. Hey guys, is there a show tonight? He ats everybody and just assumes that I have the elusive @Amit on Twitter. So now this random dude, like, what fucking show?
And he's a Lego nerd. That's awesome.
Wait, is he part of Retool? That's actually something I was looking into.
Oh, of course. Chris knows every fucking thing on the planet. So now Chris.
No.
He's like, hold on a minute. Let's get into Retool for 5 minutes.
Unpaid instant pot evangelist. Oh, I thought. Oh, instant pot. I thought you meant like weed. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, so this guy's now like, I don't know. I'm doing a show today.
He's like, what? That's funny.
So Johnny, thanks for assuming old brown people are the same. Love it.
I'm basically.
So here, let's just talk a little bit macro, and then we could probably head.
That's because Johnny's as white as F.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this whole, and this is something I want to just quickly touch on. This whole thing that Yellen made a comment about with regards to the banks might need mergers and all this shit. I think that's just posturing. I think a lot of politicians right now are just posturing to get this debt crisis thing figured out, the debt ceiling thing figured out. So I think just for the sake of like getting people to actually come together, I think a lot of politicians over the next week are just going to be like, if we don't get this approved, then the economy is going to end and everyone's going to die.
The stock market is going to crash 45% or something if we don't.
Yeah, whatever. So they already got in my opinion, they already got a deal negotiated, except now they're just trying to do the finer points and each side is just harping on their finer point. But each side is invested in the stock market. So just remember their portfolios go down too. So this is the one time where I'm like, hey, Nancy Pelosi, hey, all these guys, let them fucking invest in stocks because their biggest incentive is, wait, I don't want my portfolio to fucking go down. We better get this debt ceiling thing figured out.
Right. Our interests are finally aligned.
Yes.
It'll be an interesting week. I'm really excited for the stock market to open this week. It's another week with the stock market open. You can be very excited to see what happens if stocks go up or down. Indices, S&P hit 420 last week. Very, big psychological level to see if that continues. NASDAQ was at highest in 2023, 12,688. It's going to be interesting if we see some pullback or.
Amit, Amit, check this out. Look at the thing I just sent you. So that guy works with this company Retool. I've heard of them.
I told you.
They work.
He did the unthinkable.
They work. No. Hold on. They work with a lot of big name people, man. It's not some small ass company. That's the thing.
All right,
that
but you got to know exactly what they're doing because like
yeah, they help you build apps like using like things
it's
like
easy to put a logo there and say we worked for Lyft, but like what did you actually do for Peloton?
I
think Chris is now trolling us. I think that's what's going on here.
No,
can you invest in them? Are these guys a private company?
No, they're private.
Yeah. Are they related to TFC in any way that I can?
No, not right now. Not right now, but maybe one day.
All right.
Know.
I love it.
All right, a good one, everybody.
That's a good point, Kendall. Wednesday.
Confirmed. Oh, NVIDIA earnings, and we got Zoom. We got Zoom too.
Their management is just straight killers, Chris.
I think so.
Last question: what do you guys think is happening with Zoom? Chris, you bullish on Zoom at all?
No,
not bullish at all. Kathy's is number 3rd position in ARC.
No, not bullish on Zoom. There's just so much free out there that you don't need Zoom. Like we're on StreamYard. WebEx is out there from Cisco. Microsoft has free shit with Microsoft Teams. Like I don't see the bull case for Zoom, honestly. I mean, maybe they're a profitable company, but they don't have the potential to be like a 10xer. I think they'll be a utility company for a long time. Yeah, like I said, I don't see
it's number 3 in
uniqueness.
It blows my mind. It's number 3. She's like $700 million of this fucking company.
I think it's a great business, by the way.
And I think it's a great business.
It has a place, and it's probably going to grow. But I think all of these multiples.
She said 1,500 bear case 2026.
Yeah,
right now, the PE is 200.
She's got to
PE is 203.
She's got to explain how it gets there. Like, look, I was there 2020 Primordial Light right there, 815. Zoom had its day in 2021. This is true. Zoom had
500.
Zoom had, man, it had such an opportunity. Everyone was trying to scramble. We were trying to figure out how do we work from home in a collaborative sort of environment, right? They didn't have the product ready on time. There was a million of these apps coming out trying to allow us to communicate via the web and also control a computer on the other end that needs to be able to play back video real time. That's really hard to do, okay?
Yeah.
And there was like Teradici, Hewlett-Packard had some software, Jump had one, and you know what? Jump won. Jump is now the one. That's what everyone uses. And so Zoom, if they didn't capture that, I don't see what it is. Even us, we use Zoom when we can't get into StreamYard now.
Yeah, I think actually StreamYard is a better product.
StreamYard for this thing, for this, it absolutely is.
Hey, Amit, share the screen real quick.
Before he shares, I'm like, I can't take Kathy seriously anymore because like, how is she not invested in enphase and green energy at this point? Besides Tesla, of course, I don't understand. So she's buying all this garbage and won't buy a quality company. It's crazy.
So you look at this with Zoom, their sales have pretty much just gone flat. Like what a billion a quarter right now. You see, and it's if you comparatively from like the last couple of years, yes, they grew like crazy, but at this point they flatlined. So why would I pay a multiple like that crazy, a 200?
What's the multiple? 200?
What else can they do? Like really, what other product? What can they come out with now? What can they do?
I don't know.
What part of the market are they not servicing? What is it? Like, they have all these buttons on the side where you can draw and do all these things and apps within apps. I mean,
and their EBITDA growth is down 48%. Nah, dude, that's not. No, I don't know what Kathy sees, but I don't see it.
So Mike says because enphase is garbage, sure, but she buys garbage all the time. So add that to the collection, man. What's the problem?
Right.
Her argument was that the knowledge industry will become a $4 trillion industry, and all these knowledge workers will need to communicate with each other, like journalists and all this stuff. And
but Microsoft is giving their shit away for free. How do you compete against free?
Yeah, man.
No,
and you
the
can
way
do
Microsoft does it is not
free.
Office 365, and
bundled.
But I'm saying for $10, you have free Zoom, or it's part of it. You have Office, which everybody uses, Excel and Microsoft Word. Plus, you have storage. You have your pictures. It's just a better deal.
Yeah.
Like saying that she said she doesn't buy energy companies during quantitative tightening. She said it multiple times.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the reason then.
All right. That's it for us. Thank you for the 5th day in a row for 400. This means a lot. It's super cool. We're seeing all your messages and on Twitter, everyone that's reaching out privately. It means a lot. It seems like people are enjoying it.
Talk about the new channel. We're migrating over to the new channel.
It's pinned in the chat. It's been pinned for the past hour. Please subscribe to that channel. We're at 500 subs in a week, which is amazing. We got to get that bad boy to 1,000. So please subscribe to that. You'll see a bunch of clips on that channel if you missed.
We should lead with that.
Yeah, and keep
Really
dropping it
bad.
in. And everyone, put your Twitter in the chat too. So it's the last thing that people see when they play back with the chat on.
Correct. I'm gonna put some tweets in there right now.
Put that in there. Put the chat that, and then yeah, and we'll see you guys there.
Chris, any last words?
The thing I like about
What? Why are you laughing?
Okay, good.
I didn't even mean to do it as like a joke. I was actually asking if he has, because I'm
Right.
putting the tweets there.
But look at him. He's about to explode. Guys, everybody, see you later.
I'm holding myself in, like I'm holding it in, like.
no, but what is
Like-
it? What do you want to say?
Dude,
Prove us
No,
wrong.
no, don't. Oh God.
Nothing. No, just
All right.
It's like, guys, I've been looking at this new restaurant, bro.
Tomorrow,
I
there'll be a
We'll
mess.
continue tomorrow.
Restaurant you went to this weekend? Real
First
quick.
watch. First.
I've
watch.
never heard of First Watch in my life.
I looked them up. They don't even. There's no stores near me or within 1,000 miles. I was like,
So
Yeah.
you
Never
guys
even
haven't
heard of those
experienced
guys.
it, but trust me, First Watch. If who's in the chat, have you guys been to First Watch? What do you think? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Would you
I don't
go
like
somewhere
First Watch
else
because
for
I wear
breakfast?
my watch, and my watch doesn't tell the time because the time is now
Yeah.
to end the podcast. We will see
The
you
first
guys.
comment. First Watch is
tomorrow.
good as fuck. See? Maybe we'll talk about that franchises in a future episode. Huge opportunity, guys. Huge opportunity to get in. This is like getting into Chipotle, believe it or not. A very similar growth pattern.
Okay.
Same thing with Wingstop. A lot of franchises are like that.
Stay
so.
tuned for Wingstop coverage tomorrow, guys. All right.
All
See you
right,
later.
guys. See you tomorrow.
Later.
Good night.
Bye.